My girlfriend wants me to date her friend and we had a big fight about it. Should I apologize or end it? My girlfriend is bisexual and mostly dated women before we got together. We're getting serious and even talking about marriage, having been in a relationship for over 2 years now. However, lately, she has been making a lot of polygamous jokes, and I'm not really comfortable with it. She has this friend who I suspect is just waiting for a slip-up in our relationship to make a move. This friend is also bisexual and frequently makes jokes about being sexual with my girlfriend. I've expressed my discomfort with these jokes before, but my girlfriend just jokes back that I must be gay for not being into it. While I might be open to such an experience under different circumstances, this person just makes me feel uncomfortable too often. Moreover, she isn't my type sexually. During the COVID pandemic, we had a long conversation about her wanting to be referred to as he/him, so I respected that. 2 years later, she wanted to be referred to as they/them, so I complied. Recently, she decided to go back to she/her, which is fine with me. However, throughout all these changes, she has consistently dressed like a Kyle. For those who don't know, a Kyle is the type of guy who wears Fox apparel and chugs Monster Energy drinks while vaping. She could be attractive, but her idea of masculinity seems stuck in a high school mindset rather than reflecting a mature 30-year-old man. Recently on Saturday, we had some friends over and Kyle was the last one to leave. We'd all been drinking and I was in the kitchen putting away some food when I saw Kyle put her hand on my girlfriend's ass. I immediately told her that was the line she had crossed and she needed to stop. My girlfriend brushed it off with her usual, "That's just how girls joke," and they continued. They then did a silly little dance twirl that ended with my girlfriend on Kyle's lap. I had enough and stepped into the room. My girlfriend doubled down, saying that most guys would be dying to fool around with 2 women. I was blunt and said that I was uninterested in sharing her with anyone. Kyle then said something like, "Maybe I could strap one on, maybe you'd prefer a man." I was drunk. This asshole had his hand on my GF's waist and my GF on her lap. I lost it. I don't remember what I said exactly, something like, "If you were a man you would have been kicked out or knocked out already." This struck some kind of chord with her. She postured up like a gorilla, and it was a 3-way shouting match. I don't know what was said exactly. But it ended with Kyle loudly proclaiming that she had to leave before someone got hurt. Here's the problem, my GF somehow thinks that I need to apologize. Me for threatening a person who came into my home, grabbed my girlfriend's ass, sat her down on her lap, and insinuated far I'd like to be ass-fucked by a man. She says that I needlessly introduced violence, and forced Kyle to drive home intoxicated. I honestly can't fathom an apology, and I honestly don't care to have Kyle in our life anymore. I'm not typically the one to die on a hill, but I feel like anything short of digging my heels in is unacceptable. I told her I'd think about it. She's staying at a cousin's house for a few days. If it was just one night I'd get it, but it's been several. Saturday was just the tipping point. But honestly, she acts like this something she can get out of her system. I think she wants to be bi, and I think a lot of her friends are doing the poly thing. It's just not for me. I want one partnership with one person. All of her poly friends are in relationships, but they come and go. There's nothing concrete there. She claims to want kids, she claims to want commitment, but her actions say otherwise. TLDR, my GF has a girlfriend that presents very masculine, that she makes sex jokes with. Saturday she propositioned a 3-way, I got upset and her friend basically called me gay. So, we almost fought. Now my GF wants me to apologize. I don't want to apologize. I can maybe get over it if we agree not to see Kyle again. I don't want to scrub another long-term relationship, but is this even something you can work past? Edit. She claims she's coming by to pick up things for work. I feel like a conversation is unavoidable. I've taken what I want out of the competent suggestions here and applied the relevant context into the talking points I want to hit. I may update tomorrow or whenever I feel better. I don't know if this post was a good or bad idea. I won't reply until I feel like it. I have a big band-aid to rip off. Update. I'm just going to go off the bullet points of the conversation because I'm over it. She arrived yesterday with a peace offering from our favorite ice cream shop and wanted to set things aside so we could settle down and catch up on the new episode of Hot D. I told her that I was uncomfortable just eating ice cream and watching TV with the elephant in the room. I think that she could sense that I was in a different mood than she expected. The talking points were as follows. I mentioned that I felt no need to apologize, and referenced that Kyle had never apologized for disrespecting me in my home on other occasions. And that the average person would display hostility towards someone who acted the way Kyle acted. Her response was that she thought it was a first-time offense and that she had no idea I felt so strongly about the jokes before. I cut her off and told her that she wasn't really listening to me if that's how she felt. She said that I introduced violence into the situation and that's what I should be apologizing for. I stood my ground and said that anyone who touches another person's spouse sexually in front of them, without their consent, should expect to provoke a reaction. Given that I actually have boxing experience, I showed restraint. She made this strange point that because I have boxing experience, I should somehow be more careful about provoking violent situations, knowing that a fight between Kyle and me would be a mismatch. I countered this easily by pointing out that I didn't provoke the situation, Kyle did. The fact that my girlfriend doesn't see this is a significant problem. She mentioned that it was reckless for me to kick out an intoxicated guest. I easily retorted with, Uber fucking exists. There's no reason to drunk drive in 2024. If she dies in DUI, it's because she was too cheap/stupid to pay the $15 and to get a ride there. I'd looked it up yesterday. Her stupidity is not my responsibility. I asked her if she'd slept with Kyle in the past. She said no. Maybe I'm biased and not to be trusted, but I believe her. I told her that it makes me incredibly uncomfortable that she keeps pressuring me into having sex with someone I'm not attracted to. This discomfort is further intensified by the fact that I've gone to great lengths over the years to ensure that Kyle felt comfortable with her sexuality. I've had to jump through numerous hoops to support her and make sure she felt accepted, doing everything I could to create a safe and welcoming environment for her. The fact that my girlfriend continues to push this issue despite my clear lack of interest and the effort I've put into supporting Kyle only makes the situation more frustrating and upsetting for me. This is the curveball I didn't expect. She claimed that Kyle actually likes me for that reason. That Kyle shows her affection like a schoolyard idiot. That Kyle feels comfortable with the both of us, my girlfriend feels comfortable with Kyle, so their intention was to gauge my comfort level and proceed. Obviously, I brought up that I wasn't sexually attracted to Kyle in any way, and that she hadn't helped her cause by treating me the way she has that night or the nights prior. My girlfriend reinstated that she was unaware that my feelings before were as strong as they are because I didn't display emphasis or something. Essentially, she thought I shrugged it off in good humor. I stated that I'd like to start talking about what a breakup looks like. She was obviously so far from the idea that we were talking about a breakup. Immediate waterworks, immediately incoherent and apologetic. I brought up that I'm unsure if she actually believes in our shared goals of marriage, parenthood, and monogamy. She was in hysterics, but essentially couldn't believe that I would come to that conclusion based off one night. I reminded her that it was a pattern of behavior. Not one night. She then backpedaled and said that her polygamous behavior was a part of her life she wanted to share with me before we were married. And she believed that she was presenting it in a way that she thought would be appealing to me. I think she thinks I have porn brain. But I reminded her that I'd showed a lack of interest before, and that in my opinion, this wasn't the first time she'd pitched fooling around with Kyle. She circled back to insisting the other times were jokes. I told her that if she believes that, she either wasn't listening to me or not taking me seriously. I brought up that it wasn't okay that they called me gay because I didn't want to engage with their ideas. I brought up the hypocritical nature of her friend group being so inclusive, but making fun of my sexuality when I didn't want to participate in their games. She was hyper-apologetic and didn't understand that it was a problem until I framed it in, had the shoe been on the other foot, it would never be acceptable. TLDR, well, there's the talking points. GF went to work. I said I did too, but actually cashed in on a sick day to research changed locks and breakup logistics. We ended by agreeing to talk more tonight. But I don't know how I trust what she says. I'm worried that our past relationship will poison my judgment, so I'm trying to get as much ready to rip off the band-aid as I can. She sits firmly in the camp of not wanting to break up, which means she leaves it to me to do it. What do you all think? Stay or nay?